All right, see, very good. This late evening, early, well, whatever it is, whatever the case. Almost 2 in the morning, so I'm up, I'm here, and so we do this. The song, this is how we do it. But I am not, as I said, South Central does it like nobody does. Yeah, no, Montel Jordan, School Way. We'll get into the topic in a second, trade-off and sacrifices. But, I was thinking about all my years in dancing, like all my years, and hear music, and you can do, and it's just like automatic, like play music, skipping around, ticking, tutting, popping, locking, boogaloo styles, all that freestyles and stuff, disco funk. Kind of like it's automatic to me. I've been doing it so long, and it's like when I watch these kids. I went to the wrestling school today again, and some of these feels like automatic. I just watch them, and even though main coach, like he came in a little later, I watched Gillette working with forget this tall guy's name. He's like tallest guy in class, and she had him. She didn't like how he did not a front face lock. It's a move basically, and you flip the guy, and you can keep the headlock on. I'm learning all that. I know some of them. I don't know everything. And she knew. Said, dude, you got to bring your foot, turn it this way, like you're gonna snap somebody's neck when you bring them over. Like she knows. And when I first saw this chick, like I sized her up. I looked at her and I was like, come on, she. And you don't know. You don't know what somebody knows, how long they've been in something. This woman is well versed, well educated, of taking looks like quite a pounding in the ring, and she can give it up too. She knows. Um, I don't want to. I already talked about, like, as far as physical conditioning. I don't think there's anybody in there that can hold it, down like me. Um, but of course, that's because I just got all my lifetime in bodybuilding. I'm not a wrestler, you know. I mean, I can do a little bit of like the fake punches, the fake kick sell, little roll here, but these people, no, no. I mean, they're throwing each other in the turnbuckle. They know how to do the what's called the universal. I'm learning that, all these terminologies and things, and put on a show, and I'm just not, I talked about this with Ruben last night. So Mike, you're WJ, you're 48, brother. Like it's just you're being ridiculous if you think like you're a kid. You're not. There ain't nothing wrong with that. There ain't nothing wrong with being your age because you lived your time, and your time's not over. It can be, channeled into different things. You know, uh, you just got to be aware of that. There ain't nothing wrong with that. Look, let's look at it like this. Can you imagine being, let's say, Hulk Hogan, for example, and he had a good run, all through the '80s and everything like that, and then, I mean, not in the '90s with the NWO and WCW, and then like came back with WWE in '06 or whatever, and they bring him out, his birthday and this and that, but you gotta live with, even though he is the immortal one, you still gotta deal with mortality and not being able to, be as big as you were when you first started and being able to do what you did when you first started. It's just not there. You can't do it. Wrestling is physical. It's all, I talked to Freeze about this tonight, and I said, I'm going to give you my opinion on what it takes to be like, a name in this business. And, I know, like, the guy that runs it, Black Pearl, basically he revolves it around You know, the basic brute wrestling ability. You know, being able to do the flips and everything, and you know, just in the ring. But I beg to differ. Now there are exceptions to everything. You know, like, but there's not. It's not a mold like where one size fits all. You know, if you're the size of fucking Great Khali, he doesn't have to talk. He's 7'6" or whatever. He just stands there. Doesn't have to do too much. You know. So anyway, let me just spit it out so I don't juggle around what I'm thinking. I said I broke it down into thirds, three things. Number one, okay, well, you could say in any order. It's a third, third, and a third. Okay, wrestling ability, a third. You know, being able to, know how to move around in the ring. You know, wrestling ability. So it's all in all the subcategories that go with it to me. You know, the whole thing, just being able to wrestle. So that's everything. You know how well you. And then the other thing, it's a two-parter. It's like character and being able to talk. So, your gimmick, it's all, basically part of the third. Being able to talk, you cut a promo. So, to me, I'm putting so much weight on your character and how you talk is weighing as much as the actual in-ring ability. I know it doesn't sound, come on, like, yeah, there's people that can really move in the ring, but they don't know, they have no personality or no character, or they don't know how to talk. So it's like, it negates that. The third is visual presentation. What do you look like? You know? And I think that's so important that if you just look like an average looking guy that can wrestle, it's like, I think you have no chance. Now there's anomalies, there's rare Daniel Bryan, whatever like that. But again, he had a big following built up from Ring of Honor, so everything can be explained. Rey Mysterio Jr. is a luchador, like that's like the Mexican wrestling has a fan base like that. So, it doesn't have to be like he's just, yeah, his look, it's enough, He wears a mask, and everything, and of course that luchador style wrestling. So it's all there, It doesn't have to be big, So it's like the percentages and the ratios can be joggled around a little bit. But here's what the problem. Here's what I see, and I'm very careful to know my place. Like today, I had no issues. Tonight, I'm sorry, I went to the wrestling school again, and I had no issues tonight. Mostly I watched the whole thing. I was quiet, and this I talked to Freeze a lot, and he's like, this guy's real. He's like 35, and he's a real grunt work dude. I mean, he can wrestle. He's relatively skinny. Like he's thinner than me. But the thing is, he knows that he's not harboring any delusions. But this guy is a utility man. He does everything, like bringing in the merchandise to setting up, working a ring setup. He can wrestle. Like it's a one man machine. So there's a place for somebody like that in the business. Maybe not necessarily as a performer, but like just a guy that has so much experience in the indie circuit. How are you gonna like push that guy out? Like you just he's so indispensable that he can do all these things, and he's so passionate about the business. You're gonna kick that guy to the curb? I mean, like you're out of your fucking mind. I mean, the guy will die for you. Like he's there every fucking time I'm there, and he's there early, and he's there later. I mean, we're talking about the dude puts in like serious hours, probably for no money. I mean, what kind of value does somebody like that have? I mean, it's just so important that somebody like that has a place. I first didn't really care for the guy when I first met him because I didn't really understand like what this his thing. I said, this guy doesn't work out. Nothing. It was hard for me actually to respect anybody in there because I come from like I never went to a wrestling school before. I met all these wrestlers, from the 80s and 90s, and they're all big people. They're bodybuilders and everything like that, whatever. And I look at these people. I walked in there and I go, "What is this? Like what? None of these people are put together. I mean, I was the best built person in there. Now, again, I'm a bodybuilder, not a wrestler. So what do But I, you have to understand these people. They're relatively young, a lot of them, and they don't work out. Like they're averagely fit, but nothing like as far as like they don't look like bodybuilders. Nothing. John Cena looks like a bodybuilder. Batista looks like a fucking bodybuilder. Bobby Lashley looks like a bodybuilder. You know, these guys that are big are well put together. You don't have to look like bodybuilders, but Roman Reigns is no joke. Brock Lesnar is no fucking joke. I mean, and nobody in there is anything like anything, in my opinion, as far as physically. Now, as far as, and so that takes away a third. Now, as far as women, that's different. It's basically, the same thing. The the physical look. I'll put that first. What do you look like? The personality, character, and being able to talk, and then in-ring ability. So it's just kind of the same, but you know, there's women in there that aren't. Hate to say it, it's brutal honesty. They're not lookers, they ain't nothing, but they want to be there. They know there's this huge woman in there. She ain't no Trish Stratus. She's fucking really fat, but there could be something for her because it's like, you know, she's like scary looking because she's so big, and maybe she knows that it could get her in the business. Who knows? Um, Keith didn't show up tonight. I got in the ring. I was able to get in there before they really started, and I did like some stomping, like some with both my feet in the corner to try to get an idea of the power of the ring, like the give, because I've been having problems with that. There's an Asian kid too, like he really has problems, like with his back, it's like I do, kind of hitting, and I think it's just it's a combination of fear and not being able to do it properly, trust in giving it up to the ring, taking that bump, but it is kind of hard. I don't expect it to be a fucking Patrick Cirillo, but you would expect a little bit of a give, like boom, like so it would make it easier to take those bumps, like when you throw it, like during the practice, they were pro was teaching like trying to show the 3D, it's basically the 3D move, whatever, just Dudley's, the elevated. They pick the guy goes straight up, and then they both fall. The guy that's well in the 3D you got a third guy that like pulls his, like gives him a neck kind of a neck breaker as he's elevated. So it's like 3D. One guy lifts, the guy that's going on for the ride, is elevated up, and then as he's coming down, the third guy pulls the guy's neck. So it's but it's all got to be done in sync and coordination. Now, done with two people, it's basically the first guy, the guy's going up and he takes a face bump, and then the guy takes the back bump. And if they do it together, it coincides. It's a I forgot the name of the move, but he mentioned it there, and they kept trying to do it. And when you don't have confidence in doing it, they all land awkwardly. They don't get up the whole way, and he's like, "No, no, you got to get up." It's like you got to be willing to take the hits, take the bumps, and and the problem is that my body, my age, it's telling me not to do this. Like when I go to the gym, I know how to stretch. I know how to warm up properly and do the exercises. This I feel like it's not that, it's really kind of acrobatic shit. Now I can do when I'm warmed up in the bodybuilding toward the end. I can do handstand push-ups with the push-up bars. I mentioned that the kind of aluminum sided hard uh, uh, against the wall, and there's a little bit of give in there, so I can pound it. It's just weird. It's very frustrating that I can. I mean, God, I wish I could record somebody watching me take a hard bump in the gym, against that wall, because it really makes a lot of, and it's kind of, but for some reason, at that damn ring, like I'm hesitant because I'm afraid, like going back, like my teeth, like my tongue will bite down, like it's just odd. It's a fucking odd way of landing, like I'm not used to that. And I'm kind of old already to get used to, I just think it's over, you're being ridiculous. You're being ridiculous, trying to get into this kind of stuff. There's this one guy, J Rod. He's, and again, another guy smaller than me. And, he's very animated. I was going to make a recommendation when he was like, about this is something where you can really sell something. What I mean by sell is somebody's got you in a headlock. You make the sound loud. People, you got to sell it. And he didn't do that a couple times. I was going to say sell it, J-Rod. But the dude overall is not fucking bad. I mean, he can take the hits and the bumps and plays to the audience. He gets mad. It's cute. He's a good kind of solid wrestler. But he's he's nothing, I can't, how can I mean, I'm not really a big guy, and I look at somebody like that, who cares about somebody, I mean, and the problem is that I'm going to tell somebody, like, I say, dude, I mean, you need to concentrate more on building your body. And I don't know, like, it seems like you can talk because you play the crowd. I want to hear your promos. Like, I want to see, like, work on your deficiencies, man. If you already know, if you're proficient in the ring already, stop wasting time trying to get better and better at that. Like, work. I want to see the other things. And this guy that runs the school doesn't look at it like that. He's like, they want to see the performance that people pay. And I'm going to really try to open up. If I ever get to talk to this guy exclusively privately, I'm going to say, dude, you're going about this the wrong way. You don't understand what yeah, dude, and you got to be careful because this guy's been in the business a long time, but it doesn't mean like the whole idea is to look at shit that works. AEW and WWE. Now I know these are big, huge, arenas and shit like that. And look at how it works. And what I mean by it works, not how, how the operation works, but how they make money and how they have a show, like people like the characters, and try somehow to get some drips off that, like creating something, like try to snowball off that somehow. And the problem is that a lot of shit you're not going to be able to do because of the difficulties with airtime and stuff and pay-per-view. Who's going to pay to watch characters they don't know? I think he's like saying, well, they're going to pay to watch the wrestling. I said, no, they don't. I don't think they do. I'm going to differ with you, man. I'm going to tell you that it's the entertainment value. The wrestling actually has very little to do with the total show. He's putting the wrestling at the top and putting it toward the bottom. I'm saying what's more important is I think the talking is more important and the entertainment value, of what the people look like. And none of these people look like anything. So you're taking 2/3 of what I think is the most important part, and you're just telling me to focus on these generic moves. Who fucking cares? If I tell this to this guy, he's gonna say, "Get the fuck out of here and never come back," because I just think like he's not open for criticism. Like you're hitting too close to nerve of he does things his way. This is his school, and he has every right to do that. But look at the end result. You making money from this, and that's the problem. The problem herein lies that like a lot of people are very hard-headed and stubborn. They're not open-minded to say, hey, you know what? But the problem is, who the hell am I? Like, yeah, I'm a guy that has been a fan for a long time and try to study how this thing works. But when I said ring psychology, he kind of lit up where he's going to let me help, if I can get to give my 2 cents worth to different people. There's that one chick, she seems kind of hard headed, like when it comes to, now again, she's very good in the ring, but she just is like, well, unless you've been like, no way, been around a lot longer than me and been a wrestler, you don't know anything kind of attitude. And unfortunately, she's wrong because number one, my physical, what I know in fitness, nobody in there is like they're so, I'm watching, they all get winded. None of them look like anything. So, my opinion, it's like they this whole approach is backwards. The whole approach of how to do this generally, I think, is skewed. It's wrong. It's wrong. Now, what I mean by that is like people, it should be all decompartmentalized. There should be some people in the ring in certain times. There should be some people. There's like a workout thing. There's an area, full area outside where even though it's parking lot, but some ways maybe to get out there and either take some of the weights out there or have these people doing some type of drills, cardiovascular work, or practicing lines. None of these fucking people, like, I've seen this where actors do this. They practice out in public. It's just the whole thing should be decompartmentalized. Now, I've seen them kind of do it sometimes when they talk, they break them up into groups. They're going to do a performance and they go over the choreography. Okay, we're going to do this. They just talk it out. They do a light kind of thing where you're not going to throw somebody on concrete and pick them up. But they say, okay, then I'm going to block your leg block. Then I'm going to throw you in a turnbuckle, and they go over that. That's all right. That's good. That's good. But my point is that they're not understanding something like your character, whatever it is kind of irrelevant if nobody knows who you are. Like they don't know, and that's the problem. It's just pay. Who's going to pay to watch people they don't know, and so, that's the problem. You can't really copy the WWE mold because you don't have the access to resources like that. You big arenas, being able to be on television, twice, 3 times a week. It's it's a juggernaut. Like it really is. This is when they say, "Oh, you're a pro wrestler," but you could be in the bottom of like wrestling in armories. Who's going to show up for that? It's just you're talking something that is like it's not like minor league baseball. Now, minor league baseball depends. If it's independent minor league ball, I mean, you're really talking low, and that's where levels of tryouts that I was at. But it's still pro ball. They have to pay you, whatever, 700 a month, or they could trade you. Um, uh, there could be scouts there, but again, independent. Who fucking cares? Yuma Bullfrogs. You can go to fucking Yuma, Arizona. Do you know where that is? The only thing in Yuma is a fucking prison. Yuma, Arizona. It's nothing. People don't go there. They drive through there or whatever. It's nothing. It's a desert, nothing. You know? It's not like Las Vegas 51s or whatever, or Las Vegas Aviators, the Oakland A's double A team or whatever, triple A team or single, whatever. They got a stadium there, that's different. The locals support it, whatever, that's higher level up. And, those people, they could be moved up, they can moved out. You know, it's a little different. In wrestling, it's like you're either in WWE, AEW, neither a ROA, Ring of Honor, or where the fuck are? Then if you're not in that, where the fuck are you? You know, you like you basically don't exist. You know, I'm sorry to say. You know, now Knockx Pro is run by Kish. You know, like okay, people know Rikishi. You know, like because of his stature of time with WWE, WWF transition at the time, and that's it. And he, you know, I'm gonna say this nicely, but you know, yeah, he was again, he was an integral part of SmackDown. You know, around the 2000, you know, time 2002 ish, what was his height, you know, around. I remember, I'm well aware of because I watched SmackDown religiously during that time. So, and his brother that passed was, you know, I remember the Rosie and Jamal, the warning. It was very, very good writing. It was cute. You know, I was there at the Unforgiven. I remember it like it was yesterday. It was almost this September will be 20 years. That's when that event was. So, you know, we talk about things a long time ago. You know, I know, like I'm well aware, you know, of this kind of stuff, and I'm well aware of my age, you know, of stuff. And oh, the girl, by the way, the girl I like wasn't there. You know, she didn't show up. And let me tell you something. I'm happy she didn't show up because she is just such a distraction for me because I just think she's so captivating, you know, and it was like going today felt like a waste of time. Um, she wasn't there to me, you know, because she lights up the place. You know, she's just really special. You know, I just am blown away by her as a performer. You know, and you know, I just think like you know she's like magic to me. You know, like I never I it's very difficult to explain this properly. I'll do the best I can, but what she does like she can stop and look at you like and I know women can do this, you know, like, nothing else exists but you. They're looking at you like in your soul, and it's like that's funny because she wears glasses and braces, and you know I notice she breaks out a lot, you know, and it's like I don't care, you know, I see beyond all of it, you know, like she's just so beautiful, like to me, you know, I it's like to me, I would give anything to earn a date with this person. You know, I would. And the problem lies that, you know, if I were just to come out and say that, I know that either, you know, it's not going to end well for me. It'll be one of these. I'm seeing somebody I'm not interested. I'll think about it. So you lose all three. You know, all three are losing propositions. Um, you know, she's just really I kind of feel like, you know, I would live vicariously through her as a performer, you know, because she's like all of it, you know, she's really just magic, you know, to me. Um, and it's really hard because, I don't want to be so honest with that because I know I've had so many things like this blow up in my face over my lifetime. You know, I really felt something and there was nothing there, you know, like to connect. And it's like I just don't want that again. You know, I don't want to hear no again. I don't want, you know, I know life is full of rejections, but I mean, and that leads me to the topic sacrifices and trade offs. I know it could be a chess analogy, but that has nothing to do with this. Maybe it does, but I don't think so. And what I mean by the sacrifices and trade offs is that I'm so used to just going to the gym alone, doing my workouts, putting in a shitload of time, effort, and energy, not meeting anybody, going home and eating and everything. And I've been going out to this Van Nuys thing. It's taken me outside my comfort zone in many different ways. It throws off my eating. I have been able to work out, in a couple days, and it's like, okay, you're socializing, with these people that are regulars that are there. You're learning kind of the business of into professional wrestling, but it's like, where is it going to lead? And then that girl, like, she wasn't there today, but she's definitely in her 20s. She has to be. She has to be. She's got to be at least 20 years. She has to be at least 20 years old. I mean, or else that'd be insane. Then I wouldn't even, it's like ridiculous if she's not. She is, though. She's an adult. She's an adult for sure. Anyway, so, I start thinking about this and I go, well, what's my alternative? I just go back to the same fucking monotonous, going to the gym, the gays are there, like what cares, building a body, it's not building a life. I've said this many, many times. I would never meet a woman like that if I didn't go to the school. But it doesn't matter because meeting is not a relationship, like, I mean, I almost said meeting is fucking, but that's, what, if it's a relationship that comes, that's like the icing on the cake. You don't want to burn out, you know, getting laid so much that it's like, it's not a big deal with her anymore. I like to draw it out to where it's like something that it could last a lifetime, like it's, you never get bored of making love to the right woman, like that's a beautiful thing. And women are so superficial with their looks as they begin to get older, but if you really love somebody, you accept all of that. You take it all with that, and I happen to like older women anyway. So like, I could this woman, she's just so, you know. I wonder, like, if she thinks she's pretty. Like, there's such an innocent realness to this one, like authentic, normal something. Maybe she doesn't realize how beautiful she is. Like, but she's not arrogant. Like, I don't feel that from her. Like, even when she was made up, for the show, like, she's not like a lot of, like, when I see like women like Trish Stratus or Victoria, they have kind of, there's a pompous, I could feel it, like, when they were, they think, and it's not just in character, because a lot of these people, even out of character, it's them, like it's like that Leah Remini, like from King of Queens. The show, she's cranked up like as a bitch, but I guarantee in real life she's like a pompous, they got money, they think they're so beautiful, like they're so far above everything. But this one that I see at the wrestling school, she doesn't. I like. I can tell. Like, I know. She's not hiding it. Like, it's that's her. Like it's just naturally beautiful. Like, and she probably looks herself thinking like, you're like, I'm fine nothing. But I would fucking give up everything, like, for the right woman. My whole life would revolve around them, like, it would complete me as a person to be with the right woman. It would be like, it's just, it's what I'm on the planet for, like, that's the ultimate. I was so selfish when I was younger. Like, I didn't understand yeah, I'm just a loner, chase my stupid dreams. But it's all over, like the dreams, you can always chase dreams, but some woman that completes you as a person is invaluable. Like, what are you going to be, some a lonely hermit? I mean, that's what a lot of these guys that I know that are these hermit type lonely guys, how do I say it? They're it's a non-existence. It really is. you know, I mean, not to belittle Johnny Burglar, you know, on YouTube, but you know, when you're if you're just a loner, you know, and you're by yourself, you're you're like a hermit. You're nothing, you know, like you're it's not a complete life. Like you don't live for anything, you know, you're by yourself. Like there's nobody to bounce off of, like as far as ideas and you know, the right woman is like a reflection of you, you know, like it's not exact copy. It's a reflection as far as like, you know, having the same interests, being on the same page, you know, like a passion for living, you know, like it's just it's so many things. And I don't even know this woman, but like when she tried to hug me at that show, like it was too good. I couldn't kind of really like it, get into it because it was too good to be true. And I felt like she didn't understand like what somebody like that, like if I could have a relationship with somebody like that, you know, I would cry, you know, like it would be just I couldn't imagine having a girlfriend that captivating, you know, like I really couldn't, you know, and she probably, you know, and the problem is if you said all this or something like that to a woman like that, and first off, you know, you're dreaming to think a woman like is not hit on. It doesn't matter. Like I have very good taste anyway. So the thing herein lies that you could scare them away, you could freak them out by or you could overwhelm them with your desire for them, you know. So there's a million ways for things to implode on itself, and there's a million and one ways for it not to work out anyway. Like she has somebody already, and it doesn't matter. Like, you know, it just is the way it is. And I thought, you know, I made sure I went up there, you know, all the way to school. Like it's not just for her, you know, because if it would have been, then you become, it's just like that stupid, that my thing, I had the hots for this bar manager, this Valley Bar, and never worked out anyway. It was like, you know, my friend said it's the same thing what you're doing, but I beg to differ because there's a difference about being a bar patron that would spend money just for drinks. The woman just has to be nice to you, to spend money, and somebody you're kind of in a school with. There's a difference. I already talked about this in the last two episodes, so we're not going to keep going in. But again, the topic was trade-offs, and I will update. I will update. You know, um, damn. You know, the ultimate. I mean, at this point, she has my card. Like, I got a text from her saying, "Hey, you know, I want to meet up for just meet or something." You know, I mean, oh, you know, like I would just, and I would tell her. I would tell her, like, if I had like just a lunch date with her, I would just I would open up. I would open up because you're then at that point you're being coy, you know. Heard that from a massage therapist one time, you know, not really a therapist, but this massage parlor thing. I don't go to those places anymore, but I did. One chick goes, "You being coy," you know, like, and I didn't really know what that meant, but now I do. You know, most people are coy because they're afraid of being so honest that they don't want to lose what they got is scaring somebody away, or you know, like, you know, so they're coy, you know, they don't want to open up. But I do want to open up, like, and I know, and like I keep thinking, man, you'd be so honest with this woman and you tell her everything about you, so that you're not a mystery, you never lie. But it's all, you know, they scare them away, or they just don't want you. Like there's no mystery there anymore. Like there's so many games that revolve around this, and I just wish that all that social conditioning would just like fall by the wayside. If it's the right person, it's the right person. End of story. Boom. Like you find a way to work it out. You find a way to live together, share an apartment, work your dreams. Like it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It just works somehow. There's so much this world. There's so much challenges out there, ways that things don't work. But if some people are meant to be together, I believe if there's a God, or anything, like they'll find a way. Like, and that's what I just wish. Like there's this woman, just she's so. I mean, I cannot. I don't get. There's just something really magical about this one. I mean, I don't get it. I don't know what it is. It's like I see myself in her. Like I really do. Like I really see something incredible. Like, and it's really magical. She's, and I have to just, I don't want to say that to her when she's at the school, like, and I don't want to say it kind of after. I just feel like it has to be done privately, like, like to show, like, and that, to kind of, she'd have to give me like that chance, like in that right way. And the only way it'd be a chance is if we went out to eat or something and she wasn't in a relationship. Like, it would have to be set for me. The ball would have to be in my court, like a chance, and that's the only way I would open up, really, like, you know, uh, um, um, with what's really going on. And it's nothing. I'm not withholding information, of anything. Like I just would tell her like that I just find you, incredible. Like I would love to just like be your friend. But like when I mean friend, I mean like, a serious, like, relationship. I'm very not going to wrestling school trying to become something that's never going to happen. Like I'm willing to put my time into you because like I think you're that special. So that's just the way that I feel about things. Like you got to be willing to sacrifice for the right person. If it means less going to the gym, and my gains would go away or whatever like that, so be it. Because I would have like a woman that would really be a compatible partner, a compatible mate. Like that holds more water to me than just being a loner. Like some of these guys that I know that are hermits. 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 So I know I enough about her, but it's like just it's been a. I cannot tell you the last time a woman like that really um, like made me light up. I don't think I cannot tell you. Some women have given me a chance. They haven't made me light up like that. I cannot tell you the last one, and it doesn't matter how long. It's been a long time. My ex girlfriend, whatever, she didn't have that. She was very pompous, arrogant. Didn't like other women. Thought she's that she won some beauty. Teen Texas. When she was young and like in the late '80s, and she's not. She visually didn't really turn me on, and her attitude added to that. So you got you know zero plus zero, and that equals zero. Like she's good for a lot of dudes, just not good for me. It's like one of those generic skinny model things. That's not my type. It's not my type. This this one that I see, she is like I see the diamond in there. Like maybe she doesn't, but like I see it like in her. I really do. Maybe I'll tell her that I see her next week and say it like I see the diamond in you. Like something cute and just walk away. Stop pressing. something for her to think about, you know. But it's difficult because the school is so small that it's just the ring and this little space thing on the outside, and it's very difficult to get that woman exclusively. I've had a couple chances where I talked to her kind of one on one, but there's people around, like I don't want them. I really don't, yeah, because I don't want to look at like I'm only going there so I can hit on her. Like I'm really interested in learning the business, but then I'm saying to myself, like, what do you, where's this gonna go? Um, I will be patient for a little while, but like I just talked about the analogy of the minor leagues in baseball. You know, imagine pro wrestling. It's 100 times worse if you're working for free. Um, like that. How's that going to help you? You know, you really. I don't know. You know? Maybe I'm just wasting my time. Period. That going out there, whatever. And look, she has my card. You know, but don't call us, we'll call you. And it'd be like just all the other women years and years ago. I gave out my cards and they never called. You know, I try to build confidence. I read so many books, listen to so many audiobooks and videos. These guys all talk about, yeah, you have this confidence, you're gonna get the win. And I know, I mean, like, I've been up a long time, but it just never happened. It seems like the area I live in, all the women their needs are met. They walk their dogs, whatever. That means they got their jobs and married, or they live alone, and mommy and daddy help them out, high end rent, whatever. It's just not an impoverished area of women that really need you for anything. Who it was? There's this guy that one of those like Ross Jeffries or something like that. No, it's not Ross. It's one of them. And my point, it doesn't matter to me because I'm not going to remember it. But I saw the video with this guy similar to Ross Jeffries, and he said, like he was in some part of Mexico. It wasn't Tijuana. And this woman said massage, and he started talking to her, and he said, she could talk English and liked the way the connection, and they went out to eat. Next thing they got married. And of course, he said, "Well, she married him because like she's got nothing down in Mexico." Hey, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. They've been married for like years already, and it's a wash. Whatever. This guy was like a hermit. It was the same fucking thing, And so like he hit it off with her, and she helped him. So it's a win-win. People in the it's just using him. Once she's here, she's gonna dump him. It could be anything's possible, but the thing is the takeaway from this is not a yawn. The takeaway is that the universe introduced the guy that like he had to go all the way there. Like I know he lives in the States, but that's the fucking thing. That fucking thing, like that half of getting what you want is knowing what you have to give up to get it. And that's a takeaway from this. Like, just like the trade off sacrifices, that's what it is. I keep going to the gay gym and everyone's on some women in there, whatever. Working out for on off for 30 years, never got laid once in the gym. So any gym. So there you go. Like it's just you're by yourself there, whatever it might see something. It don't fucking matter. It's no social. If it's not for me, I don't go. It's not a social place. Nobody knows why. It doesn't matter. I go to this wrestling fucking school. These kids, they come up, they fist bump me when they see me, whatever. talk for a little bit with some of them, and then they go in the ring, and I try to be interactive with them. Um, like play kind of outdoor referee. I've done that. Done commentating, been in the ring a little bit, but no throw around. Like I watched Gillette throw some of these dudes around, and she's a little beast. She's a little beast. Like I don't know what she looked like when she was younger. She said she was really in shape. So, I am kind of curious what her story is because I've watched her in the ring. She's no fucking joke. She's pudgy. She's definitely pudgy. It's not fat really. Well, it's fat according. She ain't no Trish Stratus, Victoria or anything like that. But she's a little pudgy girl, but she's very, very good, in the ring. And I think after what I said yesterday, the day before, or whatever, that I said she wasn't animated when maybe 10. I think she took real offense to that. And I told her after, I said, I hope you didn't take offense to what I was saying, but I just feel like I got to say whatever it is. But she's that good. She's that good that I couldn't find anything else that was wrong with her. Like that's how good she is, and that's saying a lot. Now, as far as moving on to the next level, I'm very sorry. Now we're gonna cut to brutal honesty here. Like a woman's got to be. It's so the bar is so high. I know it's like. Yeah, I know they push the black issue. So you see a lot of women. Then there's these two black chicks. They're I forget what their names. They're sisters or something, but they got kind of like this ghetto-ish. They're two. They're both of them are cute, but they got like the ghetto fab kind of mannerisms and stuff. And they would make it before. And the reason being is we're talking about need based needs. Like getting because of their personalities and personas. They're decent in the ring, decent. So they're not. I mean, they're borderline perfect. A little. I watched them both, so that's a third. And the visual thing, it's like, again, my views. The way that doesn't matter what I see. It matters what the promoter sees. And they say, well, hey, this is they're good for the card, the women's card thing. So they've got enough that can cover all those. The third, and then their personality, character talking. I've watched them like kind of banter off of each other and ghetto kind of talk. Like, what you say about me here? Like they're managers. From they oppose. The baby face and heel. So like they drama outside your baby's mama in the ring. So all that's good. There's something there. Like that's the whole key. And the problem is like this the girl like Gillette though, she's proficient for sure. There's no question about that. But she's like a little bit older. Now, I don't know how old she is exactly. She could be 32. Hard to ask the hard questions, but and like I said, like it's so like pudgy. I've never seen her cut a promo. She is intense, but that falls under that doesn't fall under character. That falls just under ring ability, like as the third, like wrestling. So there's no, as far as the character thing and being able to talk. And for a woman, there's this that the other third, maybe the ratios could be changed because the looks are so important. Now, there are women like I said, like this big woman like to play a scary thing. It doesn't have to be Trish Stratus, this woman that's like a monster and stuff like that. That's her look. There's something there for something like that. I heard it was Nia Jax or whatever, big woman. It was made it. It was necessary for something like that to make other wrestlers look good. So it's not all Dallas Cowgirl, cowboy cheerleaders, all generic, look the same, and none of them stick out. No, no, no. So, I'm not saying there's no market for a heavyset woman. I saw a woman, she was not bad in the ring. She was very, very big, but she was in there rolling around, grinding, trying to become. So it's, there's definitely this is taken well into consideration by me. Like I see it from the perspective of, covering again the ratio, like all three. Somebody again that's really big, that's got the ring proficient, and then the character and talking, as far as being convincing and scary or whatever, like covering everything. Then maybe they could use you, at a higher level or something. So see, the whole thing is you can cross out so many, like it's so easy to weed out because people, because they don't fit, into like what's needed, and that's it. Like it's no. I mean, of course you're gonna get offended by that. There's people that are ring proficient that they're a little older, not pudgy. They just don't. There's no need for them. Like and a guy like I talked about, J Rod. Like again, the guy. He's ring proficient, and I never heard him cut a promo, but again, he's like he sells in the ring. Yells, getting people mad. So again, I count that as performance, ring thing. That ain't considered personality, even though it looks like it is, but it's not. It's not. It's not part of character, even though it appears to be. It appears to be, but it's character in performance, and I consider that wrestling. So there's no like I give him like the third. He's definitely, as far as a performer, boom. But dude, you look like an average looking man. So the party's over. Like it's you're just basically boxed out on your visual appearance. It's just too little. Like you're just like an average. You're not even. I mean, like Daniel Bryan. You saw that guy's grunge beard and everything. That's the selling point. That's a character thing. Daniel Bryan had the in-ring ability. He had the grunge look, whatever. So like, and then we look at the physical and say, this guy, he's a little, but taking that characteristics of the facial, the big beard and the grunge look. So, and then he brought in a following already. So like you're talking about somebody that's already like in plus, like he's bringing in. Think about this. You go to promoter puts on a wrestling event, and the guy that's wrestling brings his whole family there, like 20 people, and they all cheer for him and everything like that. Now Daniel Bryan, he brought basically 4,000 people because he was already famous in Ring of Honor. So all the people that followed him knew him. Yes, yes, yes. Brought him to WWE. So like you're talking about somebody. It's a cash machine. That was already something. You can't. If you're a promoter, you're gonna deny some guy that's already got 4,000 people that are watching you. And they're showing up to see you. You're gonna fucking pay him. It's already, how do you call it? It's already turnkey. Like it's running itself. Like you're gonna go, yeah. I'd rather take a nobody and try to make him. You get take it. That's fun. But yeah, you can do so. But you gotta understand something. Everybody knows who Bill Goldberg is. He shows up, you gotta pay him. The whole crowd, Goldberg first. They all know who that guy is. The whole crowd is to Goldberg. And he's older already, but I'm telling you, like WWE, they had to pay him. They don't have a choice. Like that. That's what it is. But that's, it's like Lesnar. It's the same thing. Your top guys, your big guys, they make all the money. Like they're your biggest draw. And what builds up the draws, the undercards, like, wow, that was a great match, main event, so that's how this works. This is a psychological thought process of like, it's a live movie that's going on, like, and you're sitting there, they try to pull you into their world for a couple hours, and, it's very, it even happens at the lower levels of independent pro wrestling. They try to lure you in to the excitement of fakeness for a couple hours, and properly, then it works. Like, and if you can do that, you can separate people from their cash. Like buying merchandise, food, T-shirts, hats, whatever, autographed pictures. There was some chick at the Huntington Park, Huntington Park event, and I didn't meet her. This one tall black chick. She had a friend. She had a booth set up there with all her pictures there. To sign them for $5, $10, whatever. I don't know if she sold any, but smart thinking. Like that's good. That's how you do it. That's what my friend Ruben did in Williamsburg in Brooklyn in 1990s, early 90s. Went out and promoted. We got like these guys that were novelty acts, had them audition briefly, and they said, all right, come perform, do your thing. And then he would go out and send all these flyers saying all these acts are showing up. Bring your friends, bring your, it's cheap to get in. And he made his money, and he split whatever the door take was, half with the artist and half with him and his girlfriend, that ran the fucking place. But he made his money off of beer sales. You go and get a keg of Schaefer's, like $75, and then you get a little cup, and he'd sell little cups for like $2.50, and he'd sell a couple hundred cups. Like, so there's his profit that he kept. That's his profit. The beer, the beer sales. So, there's a way that that this worked for a little while, and it's the same principle applies to pro wrestling. It's the same fucking principle. You bring in the talent, and they it's not like they get a percentage of the door fee, but they I'm sure they get bonuses for that on top of whatever, but they're paid enough to where the company is not going to lose. And WWE takes the fucking money, in the end. Yeah, they pay out a lot, but they make, think about it. They got to rent the venue. They got to put up this. They got to do this, and that all costs, they pay it all, but in the end, it works for them, Think about this. If you pay a guy like Brock Lesnar, let's say $2 million a year, but the fucking guy sells out, people go, they go, he's in the main event to see him, and you're looking at, I don't know, let's say 300 shows a year. Each place, let's see, each stadium holds 20,000 people. So what's 300 times 20,000? 600,000. So you're talking about 600,000 people basically coming to see you every year. And how many of those 600,000? They're already paying to go in. And how many of those 600,000 are buying his T-shirts, hats, whatever, on for the kids and everything? Think about this. That $2 million, whatever they give him, is nothing. It's fucking nothing, right? They don't pay everybody that, I'm sure. So, what allows him to have a life? It probably gets even more than that. So, but none of these people, none of them in the school look anything like Brock Lesnar. None of them. Even the tallest guy. He doesn't have an imposing look. He's not like Big Show. He's nothing. Now, doesn't mean that one tall guy, like, there may be, like, I look at him and I says, huh, like, I'm trying to see what you can do with that guy, but he's kind of like in the ring, he's just not that good. Like, he's so, even so visually, like, the third, what I like, I can't really, like, I do. He is tenacious. Like, he did, because Gillette said, I want to see this 15 times, and he fucking did it. Like, so it's hard to, like, throw that guy away. Like, it really is. It really is. Like, and again, I've never seen his dialogue, how he talks, like, or his ring, like, character or something. I really haven't seen. I've seen him do some high, kicks, and especially that size. My God, he shouldn't even have to do that. So, like, there's an unknown variable, like that third. The first one, I don't really know, like, what he can use for. Like, his look is like, yeah, So I don't like, I don't want to say yes or no. And then the third one is the wrestling ability. Now, he was having problems with, like, this neck hold thing which I talked about in the beginning. So, that has to be ironed out. Like, he's got to be fucking he's got to be proficient, solid proficient, and he's not. If he's making mistakes, that's not proficient. So, he's got his work cut out for him. Like, to be able to sway somebody's like me, to sway me into being like, hey, there's something there. Like, he could, like, there's something to really work with there. So it's like, see that you got to go, like, from here to here to here. I mean, it really is. You're talking about something that most people, they're gonna go in there, or they're just gonna point. They're gonna go, what the fuck am I? This shit just ain't worth it, because they don't see themselves making it to WWE. You're talking about, like, the major leagues of of wrestling. I mean, you really are. I mean, how many minor league teams there are out there? If you take into consideration, I didn't take all over the world. I'm just saying, like, in the United States. I mean, think about how many cities there are, and so many. There's only so many major league teams, and then there's all their minor league teams. Say, Pawtucket and the Red Sox, but it's just, who cares? Like that's like Bull Durham. The Durham Bulls or whatever. Who fucking cares? And that's what this is. That's what this level of pro wrestling is. It's nothing. It's not nothing. It's not nothing, but it's nothing compared to WWE or AEW. It's just, you're talking so low on the totem pole, but it is on the totem pole. Like, it really barely, but it's there. And I'm trying to think how many people were there last night. It was I'm tired, but how many people were there last night? The picture might have been 40, 30, 40 kids. And it's just I could just go like this. How many of those 40 kids that I saw in the picture would make it to like even a serious to be taken seriously in WWE? Like when I go like this, that's a positive way of just like saying zero. Now, when I say zero, I mean under one. Like it's so like because maybe now I know Rusev made it. Like that one guy, like he went to this school and haven't seen him except for that one day back in '08. So one guy that's gone to that school or shown up or anything. He technically that's what I call making it. Like he wrestled WrestleMania against Cena. Orlando Jordan, that's making it. Wrestled Ultimate Warrior in Spain and was U.S. champion. I think he robbed it off of Benoit. This fun SmackDown episode. And that I met him before. Met him at that the first one Knockouts Pro Open. So yeah, and I haven't seen him since. But that's what I consider quote unquote making it. Like making it to SmackDown, Raw, whatever. That's making it, in my opinion. Maybe won't make a lot. Won't let you go but it don't matter. It don't matter. That's it's put yourself on the map at least. Holding straps and titles now. Now we're talking. Um, this is a big deal now. Like Keish, that IC championship at that time. So I'm sure he made some decent. Excuse me, heat for a little while. Um, anyway, trade-offs and sacrifices are worth it. Only you can decide that. Only you can decide that. But I'll tell you something. You don't take any chances in life and think outside the box. Being linear robotic mechanic. I would have met this chick if I didn't at least try. Um, but that doesn't mean I'm going to win in the end. I can be as optimistic as I want, but this chick, she could just say, in her mind, she can make it up and go in this year or she has somebody else already, which is more than likely the case. Or I'm just not her type, or I'm just too old, or there's a million things I can say that would knock me out from, like I didn't want to say it, and guys are very romantic, believe it or not. Um, just never got it. I've had some things like a little taste, and not a GFE, not a girlfriend experience like paying for. I kind of had a decent idea of what something magical is. I never really got it fully. I never really got it like fully. But I have tasted a little bit of that magic, what I call it. But I never got it fully because I never got it with a woman that was really sincere. Like it wasn't like a drunk, dumb, experience. It was a real like build up to the your dream. Like that wow, like that it plugs in at a certain time. Like you plug in the electric thing, like the light into the socket, and then it lights up. See the chemistry that plug in needs. What I'm trying to do, I'm trying to plug that in, and I just either it's not going to allow me to plug it in, or it is. That's going to be the end result. Like it's either the dream will come true, and this is not the simple just well she did me a favor. No, 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 no. I mean you want the magic, like a compatible mate. You know, like that's what it is. It's what it is. And you know, if it's meant to be, it'll be meant to. The universe will make it be. You know, if it's not meant to be, or it's somebody else, then it's acceptance. And I've been down this road of failure, what I call failure with women. It's a lifetime. It's a lifetime. So I accept that. You know, like I just and you have to, just like in the wrestling thing. You know, it was like, think about this. All the time I put into bodybuilding and stuff, you know, the wrestling thing motivated me to do it. And now it's like the reality of you're not going to be. But what that means, well, then it was all a waste of time because I didn't make it. You know, you partially could look at it like that, or you could say, you know what, I built a pretty damn good body with all the knowledge that I got, even though like I didn't make it as a wrestler in business, but still, you know, I have the knowledge in what I know. These younger people, they just get winded so easily. It's amazing. They're panting, they're, you know, doing a little running in a ring. Not even on a baseball field like guys are fucking run, you know, like it's a huge field. How big is a wrestling ring? You know, these people that, because, and then they're panting and they're, because they ain't in fucking shape, man. They ain't in shape physically or cardiovascularly, and that's the problem with this fucking thing. You know, I talk about that in another discussion. Anyway, I'm gonna lay down before I fall down. That's all I gotta say about that.